Imagine this. There's a hidden switch inside your brain. You've never seen it, never used it, but it's there, just waiting. The moment you flip it, everything changes. Time seems to slow down. Distractions fade away. Your mind becomes sharp and clear. You start writing and the words come out easily. You're speaking, moving, thinking, performing, almost without trying. It's like your brain and body are working together perfectly. Like you've stepped into a better version of yourself. One that was always there, but now finally unlocked. What if that wasn't just a fantasy? What if this performance mode was real? And what if the only reason you haven't felt it yet is because no one ever taught you how to find the switch? Welcome to performance mode. Here's the truth. What you just saw isn't made up. It's not science fiction. It's real science. And it's called the flow state. In this video, we're not just talking about motivation or quick productivity tips. We're going deep into what's really happening in your brain, the brain waves, the chemicals, and the psychology behind the state that top performers, artists, athletes, and creators have used for years. And they didn't get there by accident. They learned how to get there on purpose. You're going to find out what happens in the brain when you enter this state, and even more importantly, how to train yourself to do it on command. Because when you do, it's not just about getting more done. You'll feel more focused, more capable, and more alive. And the best part? Flow isn't just for the gifted few. It's built into all of us, including you. You just need to learn how to unlock it. And that's what we're going to do together. Real humans, real science, real access. The idea of a performance mode isn't just made up. It has a real name. It's called flow, a term created by well-known psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. He spent over 40 years studying the times when people feel and perform at their very best. He discovered something amazing. People from all over the world, no matter their job or background, describe the same feeling. A deep, effortless focus, where time feels strange, where self-doubt fades away, and where everything you do just seems to flow, like water moving downstream. He called it the optimal state of consciousness, not just because it feels good, but because it works. In flow, your brain becomes a powerful machine, fast, focused, and bold. Imagine being so focused on a task that hours feel like minutes. You're not worried about what others think. You're not overthinking. You're not even trying that hard. You're just in it, totally present, totally alive. That's flow. Executives in flow report up to a 500% increase in productivity. Flow triggers can lead to a 430% increase in learning speed, DARPA study. When you're in flow, the sense of self disappears. What remains is pure performance. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. And here's the best part. Flow isn't just for Olympic athletes or tech geniuses. It's for anyone. Athletes often call it being in the zone. Gamers call it God mode. Writers, dancers, chess players, and even emergency workers like firefighters have all described the same powerful moment where everything clicks. The effort fades, and your real skill takes over. Flow is something you can experience whether you're writing code, painting a picture, giving a talk, or solving a hard problem. And the good news is, you don't need to wait for it to happen by chance. You can actually learn how to get into flow, on purpose. Flow is not talent, it's technique. So if this performance mode is real, why aren't we living there more often? The truth is, your brain wants to be in flow. You're built for it. Over time, the brain evolved to help you focus and do your best work. But today's world, it keeps getting in the way. Every ping, every scroll, every little red dot on your screen tricks your brain's reward system. You get a hit of dopamine, the same brain chemical that shows up during flow. But instead of helping you focus, these hits pull you in all directions. They break your focus and leave you feeling empty. Psychologist Gloria Mark calls this attention residue, the mental leftovers that stay in your brain when you switch from one task to another without really finishing either one. It's like trying to run fast in thick mud. You're moving, sure, but every step is slower, heavier, more frustrating. And here's the big problem: multitasking. It's not actually a strength, it's a myth. Brain research shows we don't truly multitask. We just switch between tasks really fast. And every time we switch, we lose something. Our performance drops, stress goes up, and it becomes harder to get into flow. People take an average of 25 minutes to return to a task after interruption. Gloria Mark, UC Irvine. Your brain is like a high-performance engine, but if you keep filling it with junk, shallow tasks, noise, too many inputs, it won't run at its best. Flow needs focus, not distraction. So no, you're not lazy, you're not broken. The world just trained you to live in reaction mode instead of performance mode. But here's the good news. You can take back control. You can train your brain to protect its focus, tune out the noise, and step into that rare, powerful state where you do your best work. Clarity begins when noise ends. When you enter flow, your brain actually changes. This isn't just a small shift in how you feel. It's a real, powerful change happening in your brain. First, the voice in your head, the one that doubts, overthinks, and criticizes, goes quiet. This is called transient hypofrontality. That's a fancy way of saying that your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that makes you aware of yourself, keeps track of time, and does all that inner talking, temporarily slows down. That's why, in flow, you stop second-guessing yourself. You stop thinking about the past or stressing about the future. You become fully focused on the present moment. But that's only the start. At the same time, your brain releases a powerful mix of chemicals that help you perform at your best. Here's what's happening inside. Dopamine helps you stay focused, spot patterns more easily, and feel good about what you're doing. Norepinephrine keeps you alert and gets your body ready to react quickly. Anandamide helps you think in new and creative ways and breaks down mental blocks. Endorphins reduce pain and make hard work feel almost enjoyable. And sometimes, serotonin shows up afterward, giving you that satisfied, I did it feeling. This is your brain firing on all cylinders, where your chemicals, your brain circuits, and your focus all work together in harmony. You start seeing more clearly, thinking faster, moving better, and going deeper into whatever you're doing. Flow isn't just a better way to work. It's the natural state your brain enters when you're doing something that truly matters to you. And the craziest part? You don't force your way into it. Flow doesn't happen by trying to control everything. It happens when you let go and allow your brain to do what it's naturally built for. This is flow. So, how do you turn on performance mode? How do you go from feeling distracted and all over the place to being fully locked in, not just once in a while, but whenever you need it? You don't need some special trick or magic formula. What you need is control over 3 key things. These are the main ingredients that brain science shows can trigger the flow state again and again: challenge, focus, and feedback. Let's take a closer look at each one. First, challenge, skill balance. Let's start with what might be the most important part of performance mode: the balance between challenge and skill. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, the expert who first came up with the idea of flow, found something powerful. Flow doesn't show up when you're relaxing or doing something too easy. It happens when you're pushing yourself, just enough to grow. Flow zone equals challenge greater than skill by just a little. Think of this balance like a seesaw. On one side, you have the challenge. On the other side, your skill. If the task is too easy, the seesaw drops. You get bored, lose focus, maybe start checking your phone or watching the clock. Your brain isn't really working, but it's just sitting there. But if the task is way too hard, the opposite happens. You get stressed. Your heart races and it's hard to think clearly. You're not in flow. You're just trying to survive the moment. But there's a sweet spot in the middle, that special place where the challenge is just slightly harder than what you're used to. Not impossible, just enough to stretch you. In this zone, you naturally pay attention. You become more focused. And because you're fully in it, your brain starts performing at a much higher level. You lose track of time. You stop overthinking. You become a bit better than you were before. That's not just great performance, that's how you grow. That's why some of the best moments in sports, art, music, and even daily life happen when someone is working right at the edge of what they can do. That's when the brain starts to change and improve, something scientists call neuroplasticity. Flow occurs when perceived challenges and perceived skills are both high and in balance. Csikszentmihalyi, 1990. So here's the big message. If you want to find flow more often, don't avoid challenges. Go toward them, but carefully. Pick the ones that stretch you without breaking you. Go after the task that makes you feel a little nervous and a little excited. That feeling means you're right where you need to be, at the edge of progress. Flow begins where comfort ends. 2. Intentional focus rituals. The second key to turning on performance mode is something that feels almost lost in today's world. Focus. Not half paying attention, not jumping between tasks. I mean deep, full, and intentional focus. The kind that makes time feel different and blocks everything else out. In a world full of notifications, scrolling, alerts, and open tabs, real focus has become rare. But flow doesn't happen when you're distracted. It shows up when you're fully present and clear about what matters. Here's the thing, your brain is always paying attention, not just to your actions, but also to how you prepare. When you do the same small things before you start focused work, those actions become signals for your brain. They say, this is important, let's go all in. These habits are different for everyone. A runner tying their shoes quietly, a writer lighting a candle before picking up the pen, a chess player taking a deep breath before the first move. These aren't just habits, they're anchors. They help the brain settle down and get ready to focus with full energy. Without those little rituals, the brain tends to drift. It gets reactive, jumping from one thing to another. But when you set up your environment on purpose, even something as simple as adjusting the lighting, picking the right music, or sitting with good posture, you send a clear message. This time is important. I'm here to do my best work. Research from Stanford University shows that switching between tasks can reduce productivity by up to 40%. That's how our brains are wired. Here's a helpful method backed by science. The 20-minute rule. Turn off all distractions. Set a timer. Pick just one task and do it for 20 minutes straight. No switching, no checking your phone. Just dive into it. Many people find that flow starts to kick in between minutes 5 and 15. That's when things begin to click. But you have to stay still long enough for that to happen. And don't forget about your breath. Just 60 seconds of calm, steady breathing, 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out, can slow your heart rate, reduce stress, and help you focus better. This isn't just relaxation talk. It's backed by neuroscience. Your body wants to help you enter flow. You just have to give it the signal. Flow is not triggered by effort alone. It's triggered by presence. Flow Research Collective. The truth is, flow doesn't show up by luck. It shows up when you build the right conditions. You can't always control how motivated you feel at the start, but you can control what you do right before. And over time, those little habits turn into a powerful bridge, a bridge that takes you from stress to stillness, from distraction to performance. Create space, invite flow, perform with intention. 3. Immediate feedback. The third key to unlocking performance mode is often unseen, but it might be the most powerful: immediate feedback. Think about it. When are you most focused? When do you get so into what you're doing that everything else fades away? In those moments, your brain isn't waiting for feedback. It's reacting to it. Every move has a response. Every action gives you a clue. You're not asking yourself, did that work? You already know. This is called the feedback loop, and it's one of the strongest ways to trigger flow. The quicker the feedback, the more your brain engages. Why? Because feedback tells your brain something important. You're making progress. And progress, even in small steps, is one of the most motivating things for people. Clear goals and immediate feedback are two of the most essential preconditions for flow. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, 1990. This is why video games are so engaging. You press a button, something happens. You move left, you avoid an enemy. Every small action gets an immediate response. Your brain gets lots of information and doesn't have time to wander. It's too busy reacting. Athletes call this being in the zone. Musicians talk about becoming one with the music. Coders say it's when the code just flows. What they all share is immediate, clear feedback. But here's the problem. Most of us don't have that kind of instant feedback in our lives. We work on long projects, write emails that don't get immediate responses, and chase goals without a clear finish line. So how do we bring flow into that? You create your own feedback loops. You shorten the time between action and response. How? By making your progress clear. Set clear goals. Break big tasks into smaller, easier steps. Use checklists, timers, and trackers. And most importantly, pause regularly to ask, is this working? What needs to change? The brain loves clarity. Make success visible. Make progress feel real. A good tip from performance science is to work in short feedback sprints. Work for 25 to 45 minutes, then take a quick break to check your progress. Ask yourself, what did I move forward? What felt good? What needs improvement? This small check-in becomes your guide. It keeps you engaged, helps you make adjustments, and pushes you toward mastery. Flow isn't about being perfect. It's about staying aligned. The more you close the gap between what you want to do and what you actually do, the faster you'll get into that deep, powerful state of performance where everything just clicks. Clarity creates momentum. Feedback fuels flow. So remember, challenge, focus, and feedback aren't just nice-to-haves. They're the keys to high performance. And the best part? You don't have to wait for inspiration. You can design your life to trigger flow. You can train for it. Performance is not about doing more. It's about entering deeper. We often talk about how amazing flow feels, like flying, like connecting to something bigger than ourselves. But what we don't talk about enough is the cost of chasing it too much. Because even though flow is powerful, it's not all good. It has a dark side, and that dark side is addiction. Here's the paradox. The same chemicals in your brain that make you feel unstoppable can actually wear you out if you don't take breaks. Chemicals like dopamine and norepinephrine are not endless. They're like wells, and every time you enter flow, you're drawing from them. Now imagine doing that day after day, chasing the perfect result, the next big achievement, or that perfect moment. Eventually, your body and mind burn out. You stop eating. You stop sleeping. You cut yourself off from people. You're not chasing success anymore. You're just trying to feel that rush again because you've forgotten how to feel good without it. Even the world's greatest performers are affected by this. Take Michael Phelps, one of the greatest Olympic athletes of all time. He talked about how, after winning all those medals, he felt a deep, empty crash. When your whole identity is tied to performance, what happens when it ends? I was lost. I didn't want to be alive. Michael Phelps' flow feels like freedom, but if you lose balance, it can trap you. It can look like you're just being productive, but underneath it's an obsession. It's compulsive. It leads to burnout. Here's the truth. Flow is like a fire. It can light your way, or it can burn you out. The key difference is control, knowing when to push hard and when to pull back. The top performers who stay great aren't the ones who push non-stop. They're the ones who understand when to rest and recover. They build in time for reflection, relaxation, and reconnection, because they know that's what helps them get back into flow. So, if you ever find yourself chasing performance so much that you forget to breathe, if you start needing the rush more than the purpose, stop. Take a step back. Greatness isn't built in a single moment of flow. It's built in the rhythm between those high points and the times you step back to recharge. Flow is a fire. Learn to harness it, or get burned. The truth is, you were born with the switch. Every person was. It's not something you have to find outside yourself. It's not just for the lucky, the gifted, or the elite. It's already inside you, built into your biology, your mind, and your potential. But here's the thing. Only a few people ever figure out how to flip that switch on purpose. Not just when it's easy, but all the time, and knowing when to push ahead and when to take a step back. Performance mode, what we call flow, isn't about doing more. It's about becoming more focused, more in tune with yourself, more connected to the part of you that's always been there, waiting behind all the distractions. It starts with a simple shift, respecting your attention, because your attention is the key to unlocking your potential. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Protect it. Practice staying present as if your future depends on it, because it does. Flow is not about doing more, it's about becoming more. You already have everything you need, the tools, the science, the understanding. Now all that's left is to step up, with courage, with clarity, and knowing that your best self has always been waiting for you to show up. If something inside you clicked today, even just a little, subscribe. This isn't just a channel, it's a journey into the psychology of high performance. Every week we dive into a new idea to help you live, create, and perform at your highest level. Your mind isn't just a tool, it's an adventure, and together, we'll explore how to use it better.